Now this was a reunion. Thank you. Okay. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was much different from what I've seen in the past. So here for it. Cause like last season, and I think seasons before, weren't they just sitting on a couch in a small room talking? No, they brought in an audience. They made it bigger than what it was. I like that. Y'all didn't necessarily need the audience, but it was a little messy so we could appreciate it. Okay. But all in all, definitely enjoyed it. It's time for us to talk about Married at First Sight's reunion. Be sure to like up this video and also subscribe to this channel. Let's get into it. How we get up, just call back, right back. We can spend, then get it right back, man. She just gotta want it all of that, so that's why I bought. All right, y'all. I want to get into some things. So they're bringing out the couples, whether they stayed together or they did not stay together. They're coming out. They're calling them out together. Okay. First thing, let me just go and get Adam out the way because some didn't happen to Adam and he coming out there with a sling on, and we'll get into that later, right? Belden came out there strutting down the aisle, but based on that strut she did down the aisle, I could tell her and Mecca were not together anymore. Okay. Nikki, baby, Nikki came down that aisle looking really good, honey. I said, look at Nikki. Nikki looked good AF, honey. I said, mamas came to teach class on that. So you understand? She did what she needed to do, and I was here for it. Let's get into it. Okay. So, Michelle and Cameron, they pretty much start the show off, letting us know that they are still married. Unfortunately for Michelle, she did get laid off after the show. I'm not sure if the show had anything to do with her getting laid off, but she got laid off. All right. Michelle was one of the people that in the beginning, she really wanted somebody to make a certain amount. And it no longer matters now as long as they make an amount because she's not making anything, right? She ended up moving to Portland, from my understanding, to live with Cameron. He ended up getting a coaching job in Cali. So they're going to be moving to the Bay Area. I said, okay, go ahead. I ain't mad at it. I would want to believe if you're moving to Cali and you have somebody like Michelle on your arm that wants you to make a certain amount and also had a good job at once upon a time, I don't think that Michelle would let Cameron accept a job that does not make financial sense for the both of them. In my head, I also feel like the job Cameron may have moved to making, I think he's making more money. And I think that it may be enough money to the point where if she faced a layoff again, right? He'll be able to take care of both of them and they may be able to save accordingly or whatever it is. So I do believe that Cameron moving to Cali, getting a coaching job, he's making a significant amount more than what he was in Seattle. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Now, Cameron says that the first year of marriage has been amazing. He knew his trajectory was going to go up once he got married. Look like he did. All right. He says that he re-proposed to her, right? He wanted her to have that experience because she hasn't had that. They were paired together, so he wanted to do it his way or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was watching it, I was smiling. I am happy for them. Although they did get on my nerves this season, thinking that this was Love Island or something. They wanted to be the last couple standing because they wanted to win a prize. I still was happy for them at the end of the day. Now, the experts wasted no time getting into the mess because they go right ahead and ask Michelle how she felt and what her reaction was to Shawn saying down the line, she's going to realize that she's settled by marrying a man that made less than she wanted. And she says that she feels like Shawn just gave an emotional reaction to her calling out the fact that Nikki wasn't into him. That's possible. You know what I'm saying? I think two things could be true. However, I feel like when Shawn clocked Michelle, I don't feel like he was wrong. But also now seeing, and I also feel like I can't say it was really an emotional. Nah, it was an emotional reaction because when Nikki was telling him the story in the car about her bumping into Michelle at the elevator, her reflecting on the things that Michelle said, because even Nikki disagreed with what Michelle said. Nikki didn't even like what she said. So I do think that it was likely an emotional reaction, but I feel like he clocked you in the moment. But now seeing that you the one that don't got a job, whatever Cameron got going on, you know, it's helping out the both of y'all. So I can't say that at this point she would have settled, considering the fact that reality hit her. And it's like, yo, at any moment, you could be the breadwinner and then that could change. And then now he's the breadwinner. Okay. But That's what she says. Y'all let me know how you feeling about whether you feel like it was an emotional reaction, whether Shawn clocked it right or whatever when it came to Michelle and Cam. So Shawn says that he started that scene with saying they were good for each other. He says, I don't feel like any negative energy was, towards you for giving an opinion on something, right? So he says at 50 years old, he doesn't take people's opinions like that and internalize them like that. You will like that as lie. You're a like that as lie, Shawn. You don't take people's opinions and internalize them. You internalize the opinions of Nikki and then gaslit as well. Like, are you okay? So then Nikki, she jumps in and she says that she disagrees. She says that she doesn't remember him saying they were good for each other. Actually, and I hate to defend him, I do remember that scene, and he did say that because you co-signed and you agreed with that. I do remember that. Okay. He did say they were good for each other. You agreed that they were good for each other. However, his statements were a bit contradictory because you said they were good for each other, but then you also turned around and said that in a few years she gonna realize that she settled for him. Okay. Because he didn't meet the standards or whatever the case is. All right. So it was a bit contradictory. Now, Nikki tells him to stand by his statements and own it. I don't disagree with that. Stand by what you said. Now it's time for Belle and Mecca. Okay. They no longer are married. Okay. She was the one to initiate the divorce after the cameras. I believe it was 2 to 3 weeks after the cameras went off. She says she realized that she disregarded her feelings and catered to his feelings. Now, I got a different thought now. Knowing that it took her that quick to switch her mindset after 2 to 3 weeks of being married to him, I feel like I was clocking Belle's face right. When he would be talking, she gave not much of a reaction because I feel like that was her mind being made up and her trying to stand firm on, I have to walk away from this. Right. But when she got to decision day, and at decision day, he's telling her all the supposed things that she wants to hear and saying that he wants to be committed. I think that changed her mind. Like, okay, I'll give it another try. I think that changed her mind, but I feel like she may have shown up with the no in mind. And something else must have happened after the fact. And she was like, yeah, let me just go ahead and get the hell up out of here. I should have did what I said I was gonna do weeks ago. That's what I think. Belle tells him he was disrespectful. Okay. First of all, let's go back. They weren't married. She initiated the divorce. She says she realized that she disregarded her feelings and catered to his feelings. What I loved about this, I'm not sure when they filmed the reunion. I feel like the reunion could have even been filmed earlier in the season, as we're watching it, or maybe even probably during the springtime. I'm not sure. I was on Belle's TikTok page and I remember seeing this very outfit that she had on and that hairstyle. So I feel like it was sometime during the spring. But either way it go, what I really enjoyed seeing was her clocking all of the things finally as we clocked it too. Right? As we were, it was like she was saying everything that we as the audience were saying, but I don't think she really saw what the audience said yet by the time they had the reunion. So y'all let me know when the reunion was filmed because I am not sure. But my girl learned her lesson very, very soon after the situation. Belle tells him that he was disrespectful for how he said she wasn't his dream girl. She still says that he wasn't wrong to say that, right? It was just about how he said it. And I just felt like it didn't really even need to be said. No, she's not. Because I mean, I feel like if you in my head, Belle, the reason I'll excuse what you're saying, if you're like, oh, it wasn't wrong for you to say that, is how you say it. If you feel like it wasn't wrong for him to say that, it's likely because he wasn't your dream guy either. That's pretty much what that is. That's fair for you to say that I wasn't your dream girl because you wasn't my damn dream guy either. So if it's good for me to say, it's cool for you to say, but I'm just not going to do it disrespectfully the way that you did. Okay. So Michelle jumps in and she says that he should have never said it in the first place. I have to agree with Miss Mamas. I agree. So Mecca wants clarification on what was said. Here he go. Here he go. Here he go, acting like Shawn, like that's supposed to change something. So he says that he was asked what his dream girl is, and he described her. You were asked if she was your dream girl, and you said no. But Michelle, he says, ran the conversation back differently by saying, Mecca wants a girl with bigger tits. And see, this is where you are trying to escape a bit of accountability for me by trying to put it off on Michelle with how she said it, when at the end of the day, you should have never said it. Because had you never said it, you would have never had to worry about the telephone game being played. You said it amongst guys. And guess what? One of them guys went back and ran it back to his wife. And then that wife went back and ran it back to everybody in the house. And then finally ran it back to Bill. But had you never said anything, it would have been nothing to go and talk about. And then he's like, oh, I'm talking to the guys, not expecting her to hear it, but she was upstairs. Even though Belle clocks him and she's like, oh, this was filmed on national TV. So obviously I was going to hear it. Girl, you was upstairs. Did you not hear it? He was loud as hell. That's what it sounded like to me. He wasn't trying to whisper when he said it. Okay. But either way, Belle says Mecca would flirt, right? She's like, oh, when we were out on the town or whatever, he would flirt with different women while we're partying. Then he called me by another girl's name. The girl's name was Bree. And listen to this. Bree is the ex that he was seeing before this experiment. Now, you was doing this experiment, sir, for 2 to 3 months. You was with Belle for about 3 months. I don't care what nobody's talking about. And it sounds like from what Bree talking, I'm sorry. Oop, I don't call, not me calling Belle Bree. Oh my God, don't get me, girl. But either way, with Belle, with him talking to Belle for this significant amount of time, right? And you just all of a sudden call her Bree, because the way Belle was talking about it, she was talking as though he's done this a few times. That leaves me to believe that you never ceased contact with Bree. So why did we not see Paul have a sit down with you and tell you to call Bree up and tell her, hey, I'm finna get married, whoop de whoop? Okay. Um, I don't care. He been talking to that girl throughout the entire time he was talking to Bill. Especially if you feel like she's not your type. Especially if you feel like she's more into you than you're into her. You enter this process thinking you probably gonna find somebody better than her, better than Bree or whatever the case was. Then you get Belle, who's gorgeous, but I guess she ain't nothing compared to Bree or whoever Bree is. You've been talking to that girl this whole time. Ooh, he done pissed me off some more, child. Either way, that's what's going on. So Belle says she's disappointed that she neglected herself and she had so much fire when it came to standing up for him and her marriage, but not for herself. 1000% you did, girl. When that man sat at that table and told you that, I mean, you were pretty, but were you pretty enough for me? I saw Belle go inward like this, inward. But when you needed to check people about them calling Mecca performative, you was ready to say it with your chest. When you ready to talk SHI about Shawn, you ready to say it with your chest. But I'm so glad that you're learning that. And I will hope and I would think her going through this experience, I will hope she don't let nobody else play with her like that again. Okay? Mecca says Belle felt like he tried to humble her. He says he never felt like he was higher than her. He want to talk about she's a queen and she was higher than him. And y'all know two terms that are overrated by men. And it's not that us women don't believe these things about ourselves. Y'all just use it too much and y'all not fucking believable. The word queen and beautiful. Y'all don't want them fucking words out for the 99s, 2000s, and beyond. Hey, beautiful. I can imagine how many women done got a text message from a man talking about some damn, hey, beautiful. And I'm willing for y'all to count the number of motherfuckers that ended up being ain't shit. More than likely, it's gonna be 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, or 5 out of 5. However many in your phone with the hey damn beautiful, but they ain't talking about. And then, excuse me, queen. No, she a queen. Now you good, queen. Y'all love referring to women as queens, and y'all be quick to disrespect your queen. Shut the fuck. Shut up. Gosh. Please. Talking about some she's a queen. I never thought I was higher than her. You thought you was better than or something because she wasn't pretty enough for you. Well, guess what? In the words of Tony Braxton, you wasn't man enough for me. That's what was really going on. You wasn't man enough for her. Anywho, so Belle disagrees and says that he was trying to humble her by telling her that she wasn't pretty enough for him. Exactly. And she said something about it's different than word vomit, because I think he was saying, oh, I have word vomit, I just say things. And she was like, that's something else. Okay, it's more than word vomit. You got some other going on. So Mecca is like, he hasn't seen this animosity from Belle before. One thing that kind of got on my nerves with this reunion, and I've noticed with, just reality shows in general, is terms that people will use to attach to other people and their behavior. And I feel like the terms that y'all use overhype what is actually going on. And I don't be understanding what y'all be doing. Like, what you doing? I've never seen this type of animosity. You putting words in her mouth. When I hear animosity, I hear hate. Like, she really got something against you. She's more disappointed in herself than anything, but she really just checking you right now. She's just giving you the truth serum that you haven't heard. Okay. But anywho, he's like, oh, I haven't seen this type of animosity or whatever from Belle before. And we've talked, since the breakup, and we were good. We had good conversation. So was that before or after she watched the rest of the damn episodes? When did she see the rest of the episodes? Because I'm sure right before y'all came out there, probably the day before, she got all the rest of the episodes, had to watch the rest of the damn episodes, and then start to see even more disrespect. And it pissed her off all over again, I'm sure. So she says it's the fire she should have been getting. He should have been getting all damn season. And she should have been standing up for herself. Okay? Like she was doing for him all damn season. So she tells him he shouldn't be playing defense right now. Just apologize. Okay? Mecca wasn't really getting it. He wasn't really getting it. He says that he hasn't had the floor he hasn't had the floor for himself to be able to take accountability. You just had the floor when you said that you haven't experienced any of this animosity before from her. So instead of you using animosity, you should have been using accountability. That's what you should have been doing. You weren't trying to take no accountability. How we know for a fact you weren't? Because when she brought it to you when y'all were at that house and she told you what Michelle told her, instead of you accepting that you said something that she would not like about her to a bunch of people, you said, what did Michelle tell you? Well, what did she say? You even started off the conversation at the reunion trying to correct what Michelle said, or Michelle ran it back different. You was wrong, period, baby. Even Devin had to call you out. And then here go Mecca. I felt like this was a bit of deflection, trying to play the victim a bit. Oh, I'm a shitty person. Anybody else here want to tell me that and it's like, hey, bro, I love Devin was like, ain't nobody saying that you're a shitty person. We just saying that you just need to take some accountability for what you did. Period. So then Mecca admits that he failed her and he was grateful for all of the grace that she gave him, and he was genuinely sorry and stuff. So, okay, child, y'all let me know if y'all feel like that apology was genuine. Let's get to Felipe and Tori. So Felipe says that he was too cowardly to be honest and say the entire experience. He says he was too cowardly to be honest, and says the entire experience was a lot for him. And he wanted her to realize, and this was interesting to me. He said, I wanted her to, this is how I heard it. Okay. I wanted her to realize that she didn't want to be with me versus me telling her that I didn't want to be with her. So you were doing stuff to get her to say no to you. So now I feel like when you came out in front of everybody, and number one, you knew what you were doing. We already knew that, right? The truth is, I like to smash other women. You were already considering not moving forward in this relationship, and you were too cowardly to walk away. So you were doing things to get a negative reaction out of her in hopes that she would tell you no. So you don't feel like you're breaking her heart, which is similar to how I started to feel that Adam was doing to Marissa. I'm going to always want this. I'm going to always want to be active. I'm going to always want to do pickleball, do this, do that. So you might as well go and tell me no, because I really don't want to hurt your feelings. Okay? So Tori says that she wish she would have stood up for herself and didn't think he ever should have been a part of this process, nor should he have been around her. And I feel like, Tori, you did kind of stand up for yourself though. I feel like, to me, I feel like standing up for yourself when he would say certain things and you're like, you're gonna have to figure that out, not me. Like, I'm not willing to take on the extraness that you got going on. You know, so I feel like you did stand up for yourself. I wonder what parts of the show did you feel, or parts of the marriage did you feel that you didn't stand up for yourself? Felipe says that he was joking about the clout and the political career. Then he relates it to what's going on in the political climate now. I don't know. I don't know whether he was joking or not. Clout, I do believe though. Political career, I don't know. Felipe was asked why he says Tori was everything he ever wanted, but he wasn't ready to be with her though. And he says that he was infatuated with her. You was infatuated with her beauty because you knew you could never pull a BIT like Tori on a regular basis or a regular day. That's what's going on. So he apologizes that she feels this way about him now and says at the end, you know, if he felt like at the end of the day when it came to the marriage, it started to feel like work for him instead of him having fun with his wife. I wish you would have communicated that. I don't think he did, but if you didn't, I think you should have communicated that a long time ago because that also says a lot. If you feel like this is work to me, then you're not ready to work in a marriage. You're just not ready. You're just not ready. Okay? He felt like he was walking around on eggshells, like he couldn't be himself or something. Felipe, I don't think you're going to be ready for a marriage for a long time, sir. If a person calling you to the front to show up a bit differently and better for the health of the relationship, you feel like is you walking on eggshells. If that's how you feel, then you don't need to be there. Let's not waste each other's time. So good for y'all. Caitlin asked what part made him feel like he couldn't be himself. He says he felt suffocated and needed everything to just slow down for a second. I don't feel like that's really answering the question. So he says he doesn't have a filter because he has nothing to hide, but admits that him talking how he did as a married man was ridiculous. Okay. So Tori says when somebody disrespects her at that level, it's really black and white for her and she's done. Tori, baby, you know those are lies that you're talking, right? Because when you were disrespected on more than one occasion, you didn't leave. It wasn't black and white. It was every bit of gray for you, love. Okay, so yeah, I think you're telling yourself whatever you think sound good. Okay, but he admits that the words he said to her were really shitty, and he couldn't imagine anybody saying anything like that to him. Okay. So Marissa and Michelle chime in, and at some point, I really checked out of the conversation because for me, I was just over Tori and Felipe. I don't care anymore. Tori said it all. She said he should have never been around this process, should have never been around her. Let's wrap this up. Felipe has learned actually nothing. I don't care what he has told y'all. He has learned nothing, and he's so far, far away from I'm not gonna say ever being a husband, but he's so far away from a marriage that we can just really move on from them. Okay, let's get to Adam and Marissa. Adam injured himself skiing, not jet skiing, but in the snow. Okay. He has this sling on his arm, but I don't know if y'all noticed that the whole time he was talking, he was moving that motherfucker like he ain't had no sling on. Like when the young lady that he was dating was in the audience, he was like, I am dating. She's right here. I said, it's the arm. Is it broke? Like, what's going on with you? You had surgery? Now, what you said was going on with the arm now? Because I'm confused. Because the way you moving it, what's going on? It's giving to you remember, like what is going on? It's giving remember the times, okay? Like what we doing? I said, let's hurry up and get Adam up out of here. Okay, because I can't take this on harm. He make me want to break it just to make sure it stay right where it's at. So he has this sling on, and we're gonna move on. So Marissa said that she lied about ever saying that she would live in Adam's junkyard. Now, I remember, and I'm going to say it again, I called Adam's house a junkyard a long time ago. One of y'all got in the comments and felt the way about it. And I said what I said, it ain't changing, it's a junkyard. Now we hear Marissa talk about what the house is, and it still gives every bit of a damn junkyard. It gives a little bit of a shack tear down. Okay. So Dr. Lisa asked whether they thought Adam was torn on decision day. I don't know why she asked that. I guess she wasn't believing the tears because at one point Nick says, "So are you saying the tears were fake?" The tears did look real, right? It did. They did look real. However, I understand Dr. Lisa asking that question because, again, for myself, it was coming off like he was telling her everything to make sure that she said no to him on decision day. That simple. She never met the family either. Nick believed that Adam was torn. Okay. Um, what else did I want to say about that? Oh, it was odd because I believe Mecca kind of said the tears. He believed the tears. And Nick said he believed the tears. And then all of a sudden, the conversation jumped from his tears being real to Adam talking about damn pickleball. And the day that they played pickleball being worse for Marissa. Did anybody catch that? And if you did it, I understand. But when you're taking notes on a show, that's when you notice stuff for the most part. And you're like, what the hell? How the hell we get here? I was so like, I thought we was talking about tears and you over here talking about pickleball. But okay. Adam says that he wasn't surprised that Marissa said no to him based on a talk that they did have about mismatch compatibility. Okay. Eventually we get to that point. All right. But that question was asked about whether he was surprised. And he was like, no, we had a talk. So we learned that they saw each other after the decision day. Okay. They made ice cream with the little creamer that he got her. He wanted to do more. I believe he wanted to hunch on that lady. She wasn't trying to go there with him. Good for you, standing your ground. She sent him home. Eventually, they were going to go to a Halloween party later on that day. As soon as she stepped in the party, somebody couldn't wait. And they ran up to her. Oh, Marissa, girl, listen. I was over there talking to Adam. Adam all up in my DM, honey. Yes, he was. So sent the screenshots to Marissa. All right. He was talking to a whole nother lady. Child, listen. I believe everything Marissa said about that man. I do. And I believe he talking to other women right now. So like, I mean, Adam just gives that. Adam's so ready to explain himself though in the midst of doing that, in the midst of him like wanting to explain his stuff and Marissa still going. No. He wanted to explain himself. And once Marissa wrapped up, because he wanted to interject. So he was like, is it okay if I, chime in? She was like, yeah. She said no. Hold tight. Let me finish. I was like, yeah, I wanted her to finish first because I didn't want her to get off her train of thought. So she was like, let me finish, then you can address everything. So when it's his turn to address everything, Caitlin says his posture is so aggressive. Caitlin, shut the fuck up. I don't care how nobody feels. Shut the fuck up. That's one of them key words that I was talking about. I don't feel like his posture was aggressive at all. The man is still sitting in the same position that he's been sat in the whole time. The most aggressive thing would have been this damn arm that's moving and all of that. That's supposed to be in a damn sling. Okay? But outside of the man is sitting there having the same conversation he already had. Like, I'm so confused. Like, just the tone hasn't changed. Like, what the hell is like, what? Okay. Eventually, the conversation comes up to where I guess they haven't talked for some time. He wanted to apologize to her about stuff. They supposed to link up for dinner. So I guess he can make it up to her or whatever. And he comes there with a hickey on his neck. Then he denies having the damn hickey on his neck. But I also feel like you lied too, though, Adam, because you said you didn't have a hickey on your neck. Then you said that you didn't know you had a hickey on your neck. So which one was it? Which one? What did you have it or you didn't have it? Then says, I would never show. You think I would show up to her and have a hickey on my neck? You think I would actually show up to her and have it? I play sports and stuff. I get bruised all the time. And then you said, if you would have known it was there, you would have covered it up. Just like you're trying to cover up your lies right now. And then you got a dumbass sitting in the audience. And we'll get to her in a second. What? So then they asked Felipe about like why you had this like huge reaction a second ago. And he was like, cuz I love tea. I'm not even finna hold you. I'm messy like Cam. Okay, I love other drama when it ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. And me and him, we really good friends. But he ain't tell me nothing about this that's going on. And Marissa said, oh, he did? But did he tell you that he was over there in Tory DMs though? Everybody like, oh, on Hinge, not Catch. Adam tries to downplay it. He says, I have friends that be on dating apps all the time. When I see them, I hop in their DMs. I say, hey, funny to see you here, stranger, yada, yada, yada. Right? So you got Adam trying to act like, oh, it wasn't no big deal. I see people all the time, whoop de whoop. But I feel like if Tori would have bit on that, he would have let her choose. You know what I'm saying? He would have been talking to her. But my other highlight indicator for me that feels like he had ill intentions was because why you ain't never saying that to Felipe about it? I feel like that's just casual guy talk. Like, hey, I saw your girl on a dating app. Have y'all talked? Have you been in contact with her or whatever? Have you bumped into her on a dating app? Have you seen her on Hinge? Like, you didn't even have a conversation with him about it. Felipe looked surprised. So yeah, you're a liar. And your girl sitting there watching it all, but she want to sit up there talking about somebody trying to portray you out to be a certain person. You're a dummy. Girl, listen, girl. You're a dummy, bitch. So sorry. Either way, Devin was asked his thoughts on everything. And he like, I ain't really got nothing to say. Then Mecca said, oh, it's funny you ain't got nothing to say, but when it came down to me, you know what I'm saying? You want to get on my head. And Devin said, but this man ain't trying to steal my girl. You did though. Okay. I said, oh, no, he did. The girls and the guys is fighting. So Belle is like, oh, well, let me chime in. One second. Let me get in. Let me get in here. Excuse me. Let me get in here for a second. You, Miss Caitlin, come over here and come to the front. I gotta get into you for a second, okay? I wanted to let you know how wrong as hell you was, though. Okay? Because your approach to this person when they was going through it was a completely different approach to me. And then you're gonna take the man that has, pretty much embarrassed me on more than one occasion outside to hee ha ha and laugh with him about what happened. Girl, you was wrong as hell for that. So Caitlyn pretty much, acknowledges that she was wrong and she apologizes. But my problem wasn't so much as what Caitlyn said. It was so much as Belle downplaying it a bit. Like, yeah, you clocked her, but then you just say, like, it's cool, it's okay. Like, I accept your apology. Like, it's okay, but I love you. I love you. No. Why is you say you don't even know this lady? Y'all kill me going on these reality dating shows, not knowing people for long enough times, talk about something I love you. Like, girl, I ain't gotta say that. I don't have to say none of that. Like, what? You was wrong. Take that and that's it. Like, I felt like you also were trying to soften the I'm gonna say soften the blow, but soften the hit, soften the reality check. No, with I love you. I feel like I love you is equivalent to putting LOL behind a text, behind a message, a text message to make it seem like I'm just kidding. LOL. Like, no, I said what I said, bitch. I don't care how you feel. Like, what you talking about? You was wrong. What is going on? If the girl pretty much showed you that she didn't really F with you, she laughed in your face. She's talking about you behind your back with old boy. Okay. Then y'all laying on the couch and he doing all of this on her hand. And I like, girl, if she showed you that she don't really F with you like that, what you saying I love you for? Like, stop that. Stop looking crazy. So Belle says it was very Love Island-esque. And I didn't know that we was doing that, pulling people for chats and stuff like that. Because if that's the case, then Devin, come. So everybody like, ooh, I was like, oh, Devin laughed. I'm glad you called it love. I felt like she was saying everything we all were thinking. She really, really was. I said, you better be on point. But they supposedly are good. Okay, let's get to Adam. Adam said he got a new girlfriend. She's in the audience. Why they felt they needed to hear from her? IDK. Miss Ma'am sits up there talking about something. It's really, I'm shocked to hear how you guys are painting him out to be a certain person. How long have you been dating him? I mean, we've been dating for about 3 months, but it's really surprising to hear how production and you guys painting him out to be what of course, I'm gonna, have his back and stick beside him. Like, I know him. Girl, do you? Do you know him? 3 months in, do you know him? Girl, you with this man about as long as Marissa was with this man. But you know him? So Marissa don't know him because cameras were around. Girl, you don't get the fuck. Why y'all even asked her anything? I was glad Paul had to let her know, like, yeah, girl, there is production here, but it's very serious. for a lot of people. A lot of people take this serious. Okay. And there are quite a few people that have taken this process serious. But girl, what? But I also feel like Adam may have downplayed it to her as well. I do. I do. I feel like he may have downplayed it to her as well. And I also feel like if Adam could get back with Marissa, I feel like he probably would. Just a bit. Oh, yeah. I feel like that's what guys do. They'll downplay a situation, knowing that they probably still over there messing with that situation or something, or trying to get back at this situation, but they're gonna downplay it to you to make you think and feel like what you guys are developing doesn't compare. Like that situation doesn't compare to what you and I got. Like, girl, please, we'll see you in a few months when you come down and tell the people about Adam and who he really was to you. Clown. Let's get to Courtney and Nick. So she says that she wasn't good at pulling the real Nick out of him. And Nick says that him being polished, because Paul asked him about him being polished, if that played a role. He was like, hell no. And the audacity of you to ask me that. That ain't had nothing to do with nothing. The struggle for me to connect with Courtney was because of Courtney. Okay, I feel like I'm an authentic and a very thoughtful person. Okay, she diminished that. So she says he's everything that she would want on paper, but she's really an alpha person. And he let her push him over. I was like, did he? But I feel like if he would have responded to you any other way, you would have been crying like you did when Adam clocked the shit out you. Okay, so and then he's just not that type of guy. I feel like you also be one of the guy that's a little rough with you too. So I don't know. But he says that she would ask him to open up. And when he did, she would cut him off and then yell at him. So, like, what do you want me to do with that? So Felipe asked, who here thinks that Courtney was rude to Nick? Yikes. Felipe, like, they did it to me. Okay, now I'm finna do it to you. That's crazy. So all the men raised their hands and none of the women did. Yeah. See, that's why I couldn't do reality TV. Because I definitely would have been the main woman like this. Y'all would not like me. Like, yeah. Don't care nothing about it. The ladies wanted to stick together. The ladies wanted to stick together so damn bad that Paul ass was even shook. He didn't even want to call out the fact that Courtney ass was unfair, rude, disrespectful, all of this. Okay? He didn't want to say it. So that's when he said something like, I will say, I was watching it and I was like, Nick is really trying here. But you didn't want to clock Courtney ass for what it was. I guess, honey. So Nick talks about never being so disrespected like that before. So then he was asked, why didn't he leave? He said, because I'm used to leaving. I'm used to walking away, finding issues and getting the hell out of Dodge. But I had a conversation with Paul and I confirmed with Paul that regardless of whatever happens, I am going to stick it through. I'm going to stay in it and I'm going to give it my all. And Paul confirmed that that is what's happening. Okay. Or that's what happened. All right. But then I feel like this is a bit unfair. Y'all asking him about, I understand him saying he never been so disrespected. Why didn't he leave? Why y'all also didn't ask Courtney asked why she didn't leave sooner? Why y'all ain't bring up the fact that Courtney said, oh my God, if I have to be around him anymore, any longer, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. Like, why you ain't get up and go then? If you were so miserable at every little turn, why you didn't leave? Anywho, Adam was asked about Courtney's comments, right? And him being the hottest guy in the room. And he shakes his head. I start laughing. He says, it's disgusting to say that in front of your partner. I said, is it? I'm not disagreeing. But what I do want to say is that it's also disgusting to show up with a hickey on your damn neck to be there with somebody that you're trying to get back with. That's also disgusting. So the experts thought about matching he and Courtney together and then putting Nick and Marissa together. I'm like, really? Did y'all really think that? Or y'all just saying this to get a reaction out of him? So he says, oh, no, yeah, that definitely wouldn't work. He said, I would have left the show at that point. Yeah, I would have. He says Courtney was rude as fuck to Nick, and Nick tolerated a lot when it came to her, and he doesn't think they would have been compatible at all. And he says that she's trash. No, I think Mecca was like, so what about the physical aspect? He said she's trash in pickleball. She's trashing pickleball. I was like, oh wow. Oh my. Now, I don't know if he would have left the show because I feel like if she saw Adam as her type, how she treated Nick, she definitely would not have treated Adam like that. But I can definitely see Adam leaving the show because Courtney is not his physical type. So he would have eventually left because he doesn't see it for her. Him laying into her ass, I felt no ways. Caitlin says, why are we going on a character assassination of Nikki? I'm sorry, not of Nikki, but of Courtney. Girl, don't nobody give a damn. Courtney didn't mind going on a character assassination of Nick. So now it's her turn and she can't take it. I don't give a damn how that lady felt. So Cameron says, dude, just chill. He tells Adam, just chill. But a lot of people thought at a lot of people thought Cameron was telling Adam to chill because of the things he said about Courtney. No, he was telling Adam to chill because Adam ass kept bringing up pickleball. He was finna go into, 2 months ago. I did it, and he was like, "Bro, just chill." Like basically, everybody's tired of hearing about damn pickleball. We don't want to hear about this shit. If Cameron really cared about what Adam said to her, he would have been said something when he said she was trash. He would have been said something. He didn't. So he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about that damn pickleball. Like, shut your ass up. We tired of hearing about it. So Dr. Lisa says, this is the angriest I've seen you all night. I say, angry? You think this is angry? Or, I mean, did y'all not show, y'all didn't show us that in the edit. I didn't get angry at all. Just like Marissa said, he's mighty aggressive. Like, where y'all getting these buzzwords from? And that's what's confusing. And I don't care how nobody feel. Oh, you taking up for the men? I don't give a fuck about none of that. Okay? It's okay for y'all to put labels and names on these guys, and some of them do apply. Not all, because Shawn, we didn't get to your bitch shit, okay? Because some of y'all is some bitch. It's like, a high key. Okay, but y'all can put this out there, but can't nobody say Courtney rude. Do y'all hear yourself? So if it's okay to say a person that's just sitting there sharing their thoughts, okay, you can call them angry. They ain't even getting loud with you. Call them aggressive. They sitting in the same spot, not getting loud. If it's okay to do that, then it has to be okay to call this rude. This lady's rude. Where was y'all talk at? They asked any of y'all felt like she was rude. None of y'all raised y'all hands. How she disrespected that man at that damn table. Even Belle and I think it was Tori over there looking confused. Like, why she acting like that? And then y'all watch Caitlyn disrespect Devin and then nobody saying anything? Y'all wouldn't like me because I'm not one of them girls. I'm sorry. I'm not and if you knew, it is what it is. I'm not I hate men this, men that. Oh, I'm team women. I'm a feminist. Girl, I'm team fair. I'm team fair. I don't care about none of that. None of it. It's just really that simple for me. So yeah. And Caitlyn, of all people, is telling somebody to say things a bit nicer because your friend Courtney is crying. Girl, what? But y'all also were the same ones just sitting up here questioning the tears that were coming out of Adam's eyes? Genuine or not? Like, what the hell? I'm sorry. I'm not moved. I wasn't moved by your tears, Caitlyn. I'm not moved by what's her name? Courtney tears. And I wasn't moved by Adam's tears. All y'all tears fake. If that's what we doing. What? Anywho, they tell him to apologize, and Paul says, y'all will have friends here for life. Who said she was gonna be my friend? That's what y'all, I'm confused. Who told you that me and her gonna be running in the same circles after the show? Who said that? But okay, the adult in you, I guess, apologize, child. I be so tired of that on reality shows. Always having to apologize. I would have told him, listen, I only apologize for things that I really am genuinely sorry about. Because truth be told, Adam, you're gonna be at DICK either way it go. But okay. So Paul calls out Courtney, who can dish it but can't take it. Exactly. I'm like, yeah, clock that. Call her out. You can dish it, but you can't take it. And Courtney says, it just hurts because, I know I'm not a mean person, as we have watched you be mean. See, you're not crying because that really hurt you. You crying because the person that you liked told you that he would never. He would never. That's why. We learned that Courtney's dating. She got a guy in the crowd. He's the complete opposite of Nick. Congratulations. Devin and Caitlyn. Caitlyn says she was trying to keep conflicts in private. Girl, hush your mouth. You wanted to portray perfection. Dr. Lisa is like, but you're on a public show. Exactly. Exactly. She says, yeah, but it was real for me. So it wasn't real for nobody else who also wanted to keep their stuff private, I'm sure, but didn't. Nobody came up there and chastised a person for sharing their real feelings. That make you wanted to have some, you wanted to control his feelings. I'm just so confused. Like it only makes me feel like you wanted to be portrayed as perfect. And he wasn't right to share his own experience on this show and with you. That was just weird to me, but okay, girl. They talked about the intimacy and him not knowing when to go and when not to go and all of that. And Paul asked if they had the same relationship on camera as they did off camera. Devin's like, not really. She's like, yes, we did. He's like, nah, we ain't really hang out that much. She's like, we hung out quite a few times off camera. She starts to mention stuff. He's like, no, we only hung out twice. Like the times that you're mentioning, they were on camera. And she's like, no, they weren't. And I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. What else is going on over it? Caitlyn's dating. Congratulations. He's not there. Okay. Now it's time for the grand finale. Okay. Finish him. Nikki and Shawn. Nikki thought Shawn was an assisting officiant down to the wedding. And I'm like, girl, you knew mother. Oh, that was your husband. That was your first shot at him. Be clear. Talking about something. I thought he was like a co-officiant or whatever. Nah. That ain't what you thought. That ain't what you thought. But Felipe says that Nikki wasn't attracted to Shawn right in the beginning. He feels like it made Shawn feel small and he acted out and then proved that he wanted to prove he could still get Nikki and kept making uncomfortable sexual comments. I said, woo, for a man that ain't got his own shit together and about can't figure his own shit out, baby, he read Shawn down. And that's so funny amongst all of these guys. Y'all are so quick and able to call out the issues on other folks and don't see it within your damn self. But okay. So Nikki admits that she was prioritizing other qualities. And those character traits are not key strengths for him either. Holla. I holla. So Shawn talks about including his family and things because that was a question that came up. He included his family and friends in the process. He didn't feel that Nikki did that. He says family is the most important thing to him, and that's how he connects marriage. And seeing her not include her family was the biggest red flag for him to say no. Boy, shut up. So then Nikki thought it was beautiful to see him with his family, but she didn't feel psychologically safe with him to bring her family around him. She planned to have him meet her mom until they got into an argument, and she decided to cancel it. Let Shawn tell it she did it 3 or 4 times. Okay. Well, y'all argue one too many, 3, 4 times. Okay. So her mom is there in the audience. So they finally get to have a conversation. Mama says she did not feel like Shawn showed up for her daughter, nor did he protect her. So Shawn goes on an apology damn tour with the mama, saying a whole bunch of not a motherfucking thing. His apology came out. You only got her side, but let me tell you my side. I was hoping to talk to you, to help Nikki get back on track to make this marriage successful. I said, I don't know. I mean, depending on where you are, you probably could lean on your family and friends to aid you in, the success or whatever, the growing pains of your marriage or whatever like that. But what would you have done if you would have if her family was included and they still told your ass how wrong you were acting? What would you have done then? You would have made the family the problem? So Nikki asks, can they cut him off? Right? As he's talking and rambling and saying a bunch of nothing, talking to the mama, giving her definitely a halfway ass apology, going around the world. Nikki is like, can y'all cut them off? It looks like the experts ignored her. I was like, oh, damn. So we ignoring people now? That what it looked like. So Nikki tells him it was a bunch of BS. I said, facts. It was. Nikki checks him and says that she wasn't proud of him nor felt protected by him as a partner, and that's why he didn't meet her family. Okay, I felt like she ate Shawn ass all the way up. And she was not laying off that neck bone at all. So she says, how dare you have a space to talk to my mom and give her a halfway apology or admonish her because I didn't let you, okay, meet my damn mama, meet my family because of the decisions that I chose to make. You trying to admonish my mama for my decisions? Absolutely not. So Nikki tells him he was a shitty individual in the marriage and you need to give my mama a better apology than what you did. So he says, I don't even know. This really made me want to slap fire. I'm not going to hold y'all. When he said, I don't even know your mom's perspective to offer her an apology. I said, Nugget, what? Excuse me? You don't know her perspective to give her an apology, but you sat up here and gave her a bunch of fucking fluff? Is you cool? Cut this Nuggets mic off immediately. Cut it off. Okay. Nikki says he's full of bullshit, and she hopes this is a clear sign to everybody. She said, I hope it's evident to all of y'all in this room and y'all watching that he takes absolutely no accountability, and this man has had absolutely no damn growth in a year. I said, oh, you better eat. Didn't I tell y'all she came to teach class on their ass? She was wearing him low. She was wearing, I don't care. She was wearing him low, and he deserved every bit. That's just how I feel about it. Okay. Wear him low. Even the guys started wearing him low. Okay. So he says, you're trying to paint me in a certain way instead of listening to me. And she said, I'm listening to you, but you ain't saying nothing. And I said, what's she listening to? You ain't saying. And we was on the same page at the same time. Like, you ain't talking about nothing. Okay. So Shawn says, it's just that the passion, I appreciate the passion that you're bringing in now, but the passion for what we had in the relationship is just not there anymore. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said, he looked like a damn fool. A goddamn fool. That's what you look like, a goddamn fool. I said, I don't want to hear nothing else. Cut his mic. Cut his mic off. Okay. The way that I gave most of the men at the top of the season, I feel slack. I feel like I went easy on y'all in the beginning. Y'all became some of the men that I cannot stand. And the other man that I may have given the most to, like Devin, is the only one that I may really like. Ain't that something? Maybe a piece of Cam, because Cam wasn't bad, but Cam wasn't bad from the beginning to end. Only thing I didn't really like about Cam was his messiness. Okay. But outside of that, Cam ain't bother nobody. Devin was a little shaky and ended up being much better by the end. Y'all ooh. The ladies called Shawn out for the comments that he made. I said, he's a woman hater. You're a woman hater. I don't care. That's what you are. You're a woman hater. Everything that woman did, she thinks she's bougie, but I'm a bit more, I know more people that are bougier. She thinks she could cook. The food was okay. It was mid. I mean, she thinks her house is nice, but sir, you're living like a damn college student and got fired from the college. What's going on? So when Belle said it was giving battle of the Beyonce, she wasn't lying. She wasn't lying. Stop competing where you don't compare. You're a woman hater. Like, what's going on? You're a woman hater, and in my personal, Caitlyn is a man hater. Period. So he then says Nikki took it as him looking down on her. What the fuck? I said, if y'all do not cut the show off dead ass, just end it right here. Just cut it off. Just cut it off. He pissed me off so bad. This man says, she just took it she took it as though I'm looking down on her. No, that's what you did, Nugget. That's what you did. She didn't take it as nothing. That's what you did. So even Mecca had to get on his ass and say, you was just on my head backstage. Okay. First of all, Mecca calls him out about invalidating her feelings and disrespecting her. I said, baby, you would be the one to talk. Okay. So then Shawn keeps talking. I said, this nugget ain't giving nothing but word salad. So Mecca had to let him know, you was just on me in the back talking about just shut up and take accountability, and you're not even following your own advice right now. And Devin stepped in and had to co-sign it. So then now he want to give an actual shut up. Just don't say nothing else. Just don't talk to me. You can't even afford to talk to me right now. Like, just shut up. So disappointing. So then Michelle, we get the update with Michelle and Kim. Unfortunately, Michelle did have a hysterectomy. I really hate that for her. It may have ended up being the best thing for her, dealing with fibroids and different things that she was going through. But I don't know how that process works. I would hope that she was able to save some of her eggs so that they can move forward into surrogacy potentially. She said they don't know anything about that process, but prayerfully that was like an option. I don't know, but I hope it was an option for her if that's something that she desires, which is to be a mom. And Kim also seems to be open to adoption as well. I don't know, but I pray they figure that out. And I will hope that as Cam evolves and elevates in his life and his trajectory in his career, he doesn't get to a place where, because she can't conceive, have kids, that he wants to skate out at a later time because he wants his own biological children. IDK, but best of luck to them. Good. This was a really good season. We thank you guys for coming to put your lives out there on display to be critiqued and dragged accordingly. Okay, we hope you all learned something from this. Okay, and go on and be better people out there in society. So either way, honey, good luck. That's all that I got. I'm Jamie. That's me. Like up the video, subscribe to the channel. Okay, leave some other show recommendations down below for your girl. All right, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.